Howdy folks, my name is Richie, aka Bog Otter, and welcome to another Bog Vlog. I just got back from PAX East 2014. I just got back yesterday, and I had an amazing weekend filled with different types of adventures, and I just wanted to kind of share my stories, tell you what I saw, what I did while I was there. So Thursday I drove up and up to Boston, and the convention actually doesn't start till Friday morning. So I checked into the hotel and I just started checking Twitter, and it turned out there was going to be a bunch of the WildStar community meeting up at the Hard Rock. So I decided to go there, and I met some really awesome people. And it's always interesting to meet people face to face that you've only watched ever on the internet. So I apologize if I forget anybody, but just real quick, I met Mike Joseph, aka Arrowwolf from WildStarFans.net. I met Zap Robo and his wife from WildStar Central. I met Martin Mizpa from MMO Buff. I met Blank Space, Boom, Martini, Flandin, Fax Machine, just a bunch of other people, all the people from the Mission Nexus podcast. So anyway, it was a great community meetup, and we're just having a good time, just getting excited for what we're about to see at PAX. And then two of the WildStar Carbine employees actually showed up later in the night and kind of surprised us over there. So I met Dave Scooter Bass and Tony Ray, members of the community team, and we just had a great time. We were just hanging out, just a casual environment. It wasn't overly crowded, and we just got to relax and just get excited for what we were about to see. So after that, so I went back to the hotel. I slept, and for whatever silly reason, probably because I'm a parent and I'm used to getting up early, I popped awake at 6 in the morning or something really stupid like that. And the convention center doesn't open till 10. And I need to learn this lesson because I made this mistake last year as well. I got up and I had breakfast, and then I walked to the convention center because the weather was gorgeous. And I got to the convention center about, 8 o'clock in the morning. And they let you into the building, which was better than last year, because last year they made you stand outside and it was freezing. This year it wouldn't have been bad, but last year it was bad. But so we got in, but then they put you in this huge, massive line and told the actual convention floor opens at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm in this huge throng of thing. I have to stay here or stand here for 2 hours and to entertain the crowd. And I'm sitting there on my cell phone. I'm trying to interact with people. And I even tried to take a nap because I suddenly got tired there. And the PAX East enforcers, they try to entertain the crowd. They do different games and different silly things, but of course they blow up these giant beach balls and start hitting them into the crowd. And you know what? With thousands of people standing there, you would think the likelihood of getting beamed in the head by one of these things is rare, is not a very good chance. 3 times, because I wasn't paying attention to the beach balls. I was in my cell phone or trying to sleep. I got pegged 3 times in the head. And everyone was laughing around. I'm just stop this! I was really angry at the beach. I actually fantasized about taking a button or a pin from my backpack and just popping everyone that came near me. I was I became that cranky old man. But anyway, so I waited far too long in that. And the horrible thing about it, and I'm not good at the expo floor thing, because I don't know if you've ever been to a convention like this. There are so many developers and so many games and so many stations, and it's just a big madhouse. Everyone rushes in, and the lines fill up instantly. And it seems like, at least to me, every other person there has a plan and knows where to go for all the good stuff, and I have no idea. So what happened was I waited online for 2 hours to be, I don't know, I was probably the 1,000th person to get through or something like that. And everything filled up before I could get to it. I didn't know where to go, and so basically staying online that whole time was for no particular reason. I got to get better at that. Probably not going to just get online. I'll come later. I'll come when the doors are already open, so I don't have to wait in that line, because that's just what happens. So anyway, I went over to the WildStar booth first, and I started hanging out. I met some of the devs there. I met Stefan Frost. I met Chad Moore, and just kind of looked at the booth. The booth was amazing. You've probably seen some footage of it on the internet. It was really big. They had a stage and a gigantic screen showing off the different flicks and stuff that WildStar has. And they had stations for people to play. And then they had a galaxy set up on in the sky or in the ceiling. They had just it's hard to describe, but they had cool lighting effects and different things that made it look like a starscape. And I got online to purchase WildStar because they were selling them there. Now, these two are in bags. So I gave 2 to my kids, but they unpacked them and took them to school today, so I can't show you them. But look, I bought extras, so I'm going to do some giveaways. Not in this video with these, but I'm going to figure out how to do some giveaways and get these, out to people that maybe were not able to come to the convention. That's cool. And I also picked up some extra of these little jammies. These are WildStar. They call them phone cleaners, so like little screen cleaners, but they have like a little hook that you can put them on a keychain or a backpack or something like that. But I got extras of those too. So stay tuned on the channel to figure out ways that I can get you some of these, which will be fun. And yeah, so that I checked out WildStar, and then I kind of roamed around and I just played a couple games that didn't have long lines. So I tried to get online for like Blizzard to try Heroes of the Storm because I haven't tried their MOBA game. That line was outrageous, which is unfortunate because I probably should have stayed on that line at some point because they were giving away closed beta keys for that, but that would have been cool. But I didn't get any. And then I tried to get online for Super Giant's Transistor. Right, ever since the trailer came out with that song, that awesome song, I've wanted to play the game, and I actually stood online. And I stood online for about a half hour, and it was moving okay. And then I weaved my way around, and I finally got to a sign, and it said 2 hours from this point. I went, I can't do that. So I got out on the line for that, and I just walked away dejected. One of the games I did check out, I had never heard of it before. I don't know if you guys have or not, but apparently it's in beta right now. It's called Nosgoth, and this is a team-based, like PvP, first-person melee versus range. So there's 2 factions. You could be vampires or humans, and this takes place in the Legacy of Kain universe. And so you could be like these cool, awesome, monstrous vampires. Some of them can fly, some of them can do different things, or you could be humans, and the humans have ranged attacks that kind of even up the balance or whatever. So I played a couple matches of that. It was pretty fun. You get to kind of pick your little loadout, which abilities you have. I know there's probably I know that it's probably balanced so the humans are good too, but just being the vampires seems so much more fun. You could scale up the buildings. One of them had wings. You could actually swoop down over them, over different people, pick them up off the ground, fly up in the air, and then drop the humans. And that was the most fun thing. So I actually have a beta key here for that, and I will hold it up for you guys to maybe see. Anybody who is adventurous enough or patient enough to go to nosgoth.com and put that code in, congratulations, you've got yourself a beta key and can actually try to play it. There you go. Can't say I never gave you anything. All right, so after that, let's see, what else did I do? Okay, so I walked around the convention center for a lot of the day there, and then I just saw on Twitter, actually Tillian from Dragon Season tweeted out, and he said, oh, if anybody's at PAX East, Colin Johansson and John Peters are there. Try to find them and say hi. And I was like, what? I had no idea that anybody from ArenaNet was coming. I know that they did not have a booth, but I didn't know that they were even coming, or I would have tried to set something up in advance. So I shot out a couple of emails to some folks I know, and I was fortunate enough to land an interview with Colin Johansson and John Peters. Now, John Peters I met at PAX East last year. We had this awesome lunch on the floor. We had some pizza on the floor with some other members of the community. So I met him before, but I never met Colin. And it was really cool because as soon as I walked in, his face lit up. He recognized me. He told me he was a big fan of my videos. He was a big fan of Guildcast, and we just had some really awesome conversation. They also showed me the new build that's going live tomorrow with the feature pack. I can't talk about what they showed me. There's an embargo on that, so I'm going to put out a video probably tomorrow after the embargo about what we talked about. I have some audio recording from them. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to present that video yet, but stay tuned for that tomorrow. But the cool thing was I was their last interview of the day, and they invited me out, and Milad Sadat, who was from Arena as well, was there, and the 3 of them invited me to go out to dinner with them and some of the PR team and some other media sites, and we had an amazing Italian dinner, and we sat there and just swapped stories about the convention and the games that we saw, and it was really nice to meet the folks at 10 Ton Hammer, MMORPG, and of course the PR folks and ArenaNet Dev. So it was an amazing night overall, and I felt very, very fortunate to have experienced that. And it was something that just almost didn't happen, so things really just fell into line, and I felt very fortunate about that. So that was cool. And yeah, so that was pretty much Friday. I went to sleep and I got up Saturday. Now Saturday was the only thing I had something specific planned. I had Mike B from ZAM wanted me to film something there, and we had an appointment with Carbine Studios to see some sort of presentation. And I'm going to be doing a special episode of Nexus Talk on the ZAM official YouTube channel this Wednesday, because there's an embargo about what we saw, so I can't talk about that. But it was funny, but since there was an embargo on what we were showed, Mike he goes to me. It's like, let's do something live from the convention floor anyway. He's like, can you talk about the big WildStar panel? Oh, by the way, I have to go back to that because that actually happened on Friday, but I'll mention that in a minute. He's like, can you talk about what you saw at the panel yesterday? And I was like, okay. And so he's like, all right, we're gonna go to the Carbine what do they call it, booth down on the expo floor, and I'm going to give you the microphone, and you're going to record it live, and like in front of all the people, in front of everybody. We're just going to do Nexus Talk. We're going to do it live. And I was like, what? It was crazy. It was like I had like 5 minutes to prepare, and I just had diarrhea of the mouth for 5 minutes straight, and fortunately, it came out great. We were going to actually have to, I thought I was going to have to stop and think of the next thing I was going to say and have to go and edit it, and he was going to send me all the footage so I could edit it while I was home and kind of put out the video today. But he said it was so good in one take that that he was just going to go back to the hotel room and upload it. So that's already up on the ZAM official YouTube channel if you want to check that out. I have a life-size cosplay of a Granok behind me. He's waving, and he kind of freaked me out while I was recording it. And so that's already up. I encourage you to go check that out. That was my first time doing anything like that. I hope it came out okay. And so anyway, I missed on Friday. They had the big, and most of you probably have seen it already if you're following WildStar, but they had a 1 hour WildStar panel with a bunch of the devs up on stage, and they filled a 3,000 seat theater with the main stage theater. They filled it, and they talked about a lot of end game stuff. They talked about the end game single player story instances that happen at max level that you can go through. They showed off some 20-person raids. They showed up some 40-person raids for the first time. The Datascape instance. They talked about a new rank of items above Legendary, which are called Artifact, and some really crazy ways to unlock all of their power, which I've talked about, which I'll talk about in other videos and stuff like that. But in essence, they just blew the house apart. They also showed off the new War Plots flick, which is a new movie video. The cinematics team did an amazing job on that, and it just really got everybody pumped. They just talked about some really cool things. They were wildly entertaining. They said some funny things, and I encourage you to go and find the PAX East WildStar panel if you haven't checked it out already. It's about an hour long, and it's well worth your time. So back to Saturday. I also had an interview with one-on-one with the executive producer at Carbine, Jeremy Gaffney. He sat with me, and we recorded about, 18 minutes or so of questions that I had. I put that on my YouTube channel earlier this morning, so go check that out if you haven't. We had no private space to talk, so it was kind of like in a hallway, and there were people walking by constantly, so there's a lot of background noise. I tried to filter it out as much as possible during the editing process, but I don't know, he was really easy to interview. You could kind of just mention any topic and he would just go, so that was a lot of fun. I appreciate him taking the time to chat with me. And then I actually set up an interview with an indie developer. They are making a game called Prodigy. They just had a Kickstarter launch that's already funded. It's kind of like, the easiest way to describe it is the game is like Skylanders for adults. There is this board, this light board that plugs in USB to your computer, and it lights up, and it's got a grid on it. and then you get these really cool looking miniatures, and you can actually do a tactical battle against another opponent, like a duel, or you can actually do a single player campaign with them, and it kind of remembers, you're leveling up your characters and different things like that. But it looks really slick. I'm gonna probably do a whole video dedicated to that later this week, and but it was fun, definitely checking that out as well. So I talked to the developers on that, and yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up what I did on Saturday at the convention floor. I know I'm probably forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? I don't know, because I'm you. So Saturday night, we had Carbine had the community out to a bar in Boston to just kind of wrap up the day 2 of the convention, and so a lot of the community went there, and it was packed. I think it was supposed to be more of an intimate gathering of WildStar, like, hardcore fans, and it got like publicized all over the place, and the bar, you couldn't even move. It was that packed. So finally I found a spot outside where people were congregating, but that was really fun because I got to talk to Jeremy Gaffney again, Stephen Frost, and Chad Moore, and Scooter, and I met Jen Gordy, and we talked for a while. Oh, and by the way, I got stuck in the corner of this bar, like barely could move. And I'm talking with Boom, who I met, the day before. And we're just chatting, and over comes a very squished-looking Ghostcrawler, ex-Blizzard employee, now with Riot Games. Ghostcrawler comes up. He's double-fisting 2 beers because it was impossible to get back to the bar, so you need to get all your drinks at once. And yeah, he gets stuck in the corner with us, and we had this awesome conversation for like 10-15 minutes. It was just like, it was very surreal. Just out of nowhere, it's like Ghostcrawler's right here. So that was really neat. And yeah, I don't know. It was like such a great time. I also want to shout out a couple other Carbine devs that I met. I met Chris Lynch, Joe Pipora, and Michael Schelling as well. And just appreciate, you guys spending the time to chat with me. And it was a lot of fun. I also met Mark Thomas, Workhorse. You are the man. Thank you so much. I don't ever want to drink Jägermeister again. That was terrible, but it brought me back. It brought me back I felt like 12 years younger. Actually, no, it probably made me feel older. But thank you very much. And yeah, I had a great conversation with Zap Robo there. We got stuck. We ordered food, and it took probably about over an hour for us to get our food. And we were like clinging to this little purchase of the bar, a little purchase of land, so that when our food came, we could actually eat like praying mantises within this tiny little room. That's my praying mantis eating pose. I don't know. I'm not very good at it. So yeah, and then I went home, and then yesterday I just drove home. I didn't go to the convention on the 3rd day. So it was great meeting Mike B and Lindsay from ZAM and all the folks from the WildStar community and the WildStar devs and the ArenaNet devs and just different community members. I met so many people, and that's what made this experience so awesome, is everybody was just friendly. And the best part about PAX or conventions like this is it doesn't matter, who you talk to. Everybody is interested. You can find common ground with everyone, and it's just so easy to just strike up conversations with random people, and everyone's excited and everyone's happy, and yeah, so that was really fun. I had a really great time. So that's going to wrap things up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions about what I went through. And stay tuned to the channel throughout the week. I'm going to be posting more things PAX related. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. And I'll see you next time. Yes! I scared my dog. Sorry.